think I heard you say that some people, some folks who've come to our country and are trying to get status to stay, have applied to the Department of Health of DHS, and they've paid money, and DHS is doing nothing.
Oh, that's right. Yep, they're sitting on their applications, not processing them.
That's a pretty bold statement. How many people? I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. How many people we're talking about?
About half of the immigrant flow right now.
So
90 countries are affected by the State Department ban.
How many people is that?
Well, it's at least 300,000 abroad, and probably twice that when you consider the people already in the U.S.
So you're saying that 300,000 folks have gone to DHS to seek some kind of permanent status or semi-permanent status to stay. At least 300,000, and they paid money to DHS, and DHS has done nothing. Is that what
That's right. Yeah, they're sitting on their applications.
Well, who at DHS is
putting
doing
them in the
that?
trash?
Who at DHS is doing this?
Oh, it's Joseph Edlow. He's in charge of it.
Edlow?
He came up with this policy to just.
Who is he?
But that right there is why I always say nobody cuts through the noise in a hearing room quite like Senator John Kennedy. Welcome back to Congress Lens. I'm Audrey. What we just watched was Senator John Kennedy doing what a lot of Americans wish more lawmakers would do. Slow things down. Ask simple questions. Demand clear answers. Whether it was Medicaid fraud in Minnesota or those explosive allegations about DHS sitting on immigration applications, Kennedy was focused and direct. And when he said, "That's a pretty bold statement," you could feel the shift in the room. Today we're breaking down why his line of questioning mattered, why asking for documentation is so important, and what this hearing says about accountability in Washington. If you believe oversight still matters, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to Congress Lens, and drop a comment below. Was Senator Kennedy right to press for proof? Let's get into it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Professor Schwartz, you're a professor at the University of Minnesota.
Yes.
Beautiful state, by the way. Wonderful state.
It's a wonderful state.
Some people in your beautiful state went to your state Medicaid department and said, we want some taxpayer money, some being state taxpayer money, some being federal taxpayer money, to feed the poor. And these entities that did that got the money, and then they stole it. But to help cover their tracks, well, before I go there, do you think those people should be prosecuted?
I think if there is reason to pursue prosecution, of course they should be prosecuted.
Okay. Do you think their ethnicity should matter?
The ethnicity of these people should not matter.
Okay.
Not a bit.
Now, some of these thieves also went to some restaurants and said, I need a fictitious invoice that you fed 100 people. You're not going to feed 100 people. You're just going to help me steal the money, and I'll kick back some of the money to you. Do you think those restaurant thieves should be prosecuted?
I think if they have committed crimes, they should be prosecuted.
Regardless of their ethnicity?
Regardless of their ethnicity.
Okay. You had some other people in Minnesota who had a different scam. They went to the Medicaid department and said, I need state taxpayer money and federal taxpayer money to provide services to autistic children. And they got the money. And then to maximize the fruits of their theft, they went to well, first, do you think those people who...
Same answer to the question.
Okay. Now, in order to generate more money they could steal, they went to some families and said, do you have children? And some of the families said, yeah, we have kids. And they said, the thief said, are your children autistic? And they said, well, no. And the thief said, well, would you agree to sign paperwork to say they're autistic if we kick back to you some of the money? Do you think those families should be prosecuted?
Same answer.
Okay. And you don't think their ethnicity should matter?
Not a bit.
Okay. All right, Mr. Is it Hankerson? Hankerson, yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Hankerson. Did I understand you to say that you have studied immigrant communities throughout the United States in terms of fraud levels on social services?
Not specifically, no. I've done visa interviews in many countries, tens of thousands of them, and I've looked at reports about fraud levels.
I misunderstood you. I'm sorry about that. It's been a long day. Mr. Beyer, am I saying your name right?
It's Mr. Beer.
Mr. Beer. I like beer better.
Most people do.
Tell me that, I think I heard you say that some people, some folks who've come to our country and are trying to get status to stay, have applied to the Department of Health of DHS, and they've paid money, and DHS is doing nothing?
Oh, that's right. Yep, they're sitting on their applications, not processing them.
That's a pretty bold statement. How many people? I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. How many people we're talking about?
About half of the immigrant flow right now.
So
90 countries are affected by the State Department ban.
How many people is that?
Well, it's at least 300,000 abroad, and probably twice that when you consider the people already in the U.S.
So you're saying that 300,000 folks have gone to DHS to seek some kind of permanent status or semi-permanent status to stay. At least 300,000, and they paid money to DHS, and DHS has done nothing. Is that what
That's right. Yeah, they're sitting on their applications.
Well, who at DHS is
putting
doing
them in the
this?
trash?
Who at DHS is doing this?
Oh, it's Joseph Edlow. He's in charge of it.
Edlow?
He came up with this policy to just.
Who is he?
He's the head of USCIS. Joseph Edlow is the head of USCIS. He came up with this
He's
policy
at DHS?
where he is just.
Slow down a minute, man.
he's
You've
just-
had too much coffee. He's at DHS.
I'm just from New Jersey. So.
I understand. Great state, too. Who does he report to?
Secretary Noem, of course.
Okay. Does Secretary Noem know whether this?
I don't know what Secretary Noem knows, but she's aware of the general tenor of this
Well,
administration.
what's his name?
Joseph Edlow,
Mr. Edlow. Who's his boss?
Secretary Noem.
Oh, okay. And you can document all this?
Oh, absolutely. They put out a memorandum saying we're not processing these people, and Secretary Rubio is involved as well when it comes to the
Would
State
you send
Department.
me that memo, please?
I will absolutely send that to you.
I went way over. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John.
I appreciate that.
Senator
Thank you.
Kennedy, I'm informed that USCIS is slowing adjudication because of the huge backlog and the lack of vetting of these migrants during the Biden administration is the reason that we've been given.
Yeah, I don't know. I just heard Mr. Beer, and I'm not saying he's right or wrong. Those pretty bold allegations that they're taking the money and they're not doing anything, and I just want to know if it's true or not.
Well, they're making sure that these people are vetted, so we don't end up with people like the National Guardswoman here in Washington,
Yeah.
D.C. that was killed by an Afghan.
I don't have a problem with vetting. I just want to know whether what the witness is saying is true. No
They're not
disrespect.
adjudicating.
All right. Now that we've watched the full exchange, let's really talk about it. First, the Medicaid fraud issue. Senator John Kennedy carefully walked through those Minnesota fraud schemes step by step. Fake invoices, fraudulent meal programs, bogus autism service claims. And he kept coming back to one simple principle. If someone steals taxpayer money, should they be prosecuted regardless of ethnicity? Every witness agreed. That matters. Because these conversations can quickly turn into something else. Kennedy kept it centered on the law. The law applies equally to everyone. That is not controversial. That is basic accountability. Now let's move to the DHS allegation, because that is where things really escalated. When Mr. Beer claimed that at least 300,000 immigration applicants paid fees to the Department of Homeland Security and their applications were just sitting there not being processed, Kennedy did not jump to conclusions. He paused. He said, "That's a pretty bold statement. That is what oversight is supposed to look like." He asked clear follow-up questions. How many people are we talking about? Who is responsible? Can you document it? Send me the memo. That is how you test an allegation. When Mr. Beer named leadership at U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and suggested there was an actual memo directing slowdowns, Kennedy did not treat it as confirmed fact. He asked for proof. That distinction is important. If DHS or USCIS is collecting fees and intentionally not processing applications, that is a serious issue. But if there is a backlog because of vetting or prior administrative problems, that is a different situation entirely. Kennedy did not assume. He wanted evidence. And when another senator explained that delays were due to backlog and vetting concerns, Kennedy did not turn it into a partisan argument. He simply said he wanted to know whether the claim was true. That is the job of Congress. Fact-finding, verification, accountability. You do not have to agree with every position Senator John Kennedy holds to recognize that in this moment he did what lawmakers are supposed to do. He slowed things down. He asked direct questions. He demanded documentation before drawing conclusions. Bold claims require proof. And in a time when accusations spread fast, that kind of discipline actually matters. So I want to hear from you. Was Senator John Kennedy simply doing his job, or did you see something different in that exchange? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate thoughtful breakdowns of what really happens inside these hearings, make sure you're subscribed. I'm Audrey, and this has been Congress Lens. See you in the next one.